Hello everyone, welcome back to Xylem, welcome back to the world of English. My name is Nasser Faruddin, Faculty of English, Xylem Learning. In this short video, we are going to have a quick analysis of the topic reporter speech. As we both know, reporter speech is an often asked grammar question in our examination, and it is very important that we should have a decent understanding about this particular topic. So before we are delving into the kind of questions that will be asked in your examination, we should have an understanding, or we should have a clarity about the steps that we should follow while we are doing a reporter speech question. And here we go. I have included the Malayalam explanation as well for a very deliberate reason, because I want you to have a thorough understanding about the rules, because understanding the rules is one thing, the most important things, and the applying the rules is the second thing, and we will learn that skill, we will imbibe that skill through practice. Okay, so here is the first rule. Step number 1, write who asked or replied to whom. Write who asked or replied to whom. And step number 2, immediately after writing that, you need to write an appropriate linking word. So what is a linking word? Linking word is a connection word that links between, or that links who asked whom and what is being asked. So there is a linking word, and it varies according to the type of sentence. For example, when you are writing a reporter speech sentence, you might have came across this word that. For example, X said Y that she loved him. So that is a linking word. X said Y is who asked whom, and she loved him is what is being asked. So there is a connection word, it is called linking word. So how are you going to decide which linking word you are going to use in that particular question? It's very simple. You look at the type of sentence given. If the sentence given is a WH question, the linking word is the same question word. For example, if the question you are supposed to report is what are you doing, the linking word is what. If the question is where are you going, the linking word is where. So in a WH question, the linking word is the same question word. And if it is a yes or no question, so what is a yes or no question? A yes or no question is a question that begins with an auxiliary verb, and the answer of a yes or no question will be a simple yes or no. For example, is this your pen? Is this your pen is a yes or no question. Can I come with you is a yes or no question. Will you please help me? That's a question, that's a request, but that is a yes or no question. So if it is a yes or no question, you can use if or whether, that's up to you, if or whether as the linking word. And if it is a statement, what is a statement? In Malayalam we call it prastavana, a sentence that ends with a full stop and has a definite meaning. So if it is a statement, the linking word will be that. Only if it is a statement, the linking word will be that. Then if it is an imperative sentence, what is an imperative sentence? A command, request, order. These type of sentences are collectively called imperative sentences. For instance, I'm requesting one of my friend, will you please close the door? Will you please close the door? That is a request. Hence, that is an imperative sentence. So what is a formula of reporting an imperative sentence? It's very simple. 2 plus V1 or 2 plus base form. For example, Nasser Faruddin requested Arjun to close the door. Simple. Will you please bring me a glass of water? Nasser Faruddin requested Arjun to bring a glass of water. So it is as simple as that. And here comes the third step. Okay, step number 3 is you need to write the subject of the sentence immediately after the linking word. You need to write the subject of the sentence immediately after the linking word. For instance, X is asking Y, why are you sad? So we'll begin with X asked Y, step number 1. Step number 2, appropriate linking word. So why are you sad? Y is the linking word. So X asked Y, why? Then which is the subject? Why are you sad? the subject is you, and when you are translating or when you are converting that into a reported speech, that you become he, depends on the gender, or he or she, it can be he or she, depends on the gender. So you need to write, the third step is you need to write subject immediately after the linking word, but there is an exception. There is an exception. Okay, you need to look into that particular area very carefully, because if it is a WH question, if it is a WH question and the WH question is followed by a V2 form of the verb, there will be no direct subject. I'll explain. For instance, A is asking B, what happened? What happened? So let's begin with step number 1. Step number 1, who asked or replied to whom? So here A is asking, so A asked B. Step number 1. Step number 2, what is step number 2? Write an appropriate linking word. So here it is a WH question, begins with the question word what. So the appropriate linking word here is why. So A asked B why, and after the linking word, according to the rules, I'm supposed to write the subject of the sentence. And my question, ladies and gentlemen, what is the subject of the sentence what happened? That is an exception. I'll tell you why it is an exception. Look at me, look at the screen very carefully. What is a WH question? No doubt about that. What is a WH question? Easy peasy. And happened is V2 form of the verb, and the rule is if the WH question is followed by the V2 form of any verb, there will be no direct subject. So in this particular question, there is no direct subject. So the answer, so in order to get the answer, I'll go to the next step. So here step number 3 is irrelevant because there is no subject, right? So I believe that is clear. And step number 4, the most important step, you need to backshift the verb, you need to backshift the auxiliary verb or the main verb to past tense, because what you are reporting is already done. So that is something which has happened in the past, right? So you need to backshift the tense, backshift the verb, and there is a rule. If in a particular sentence there are both auxiliary verb and main verb, you only need to backshift the auxiliary verb. You only need to backshift the auxiliary verb. Did you understand? You do not have to touch main verb. And if there is only main verb, you definitely have to convert that into past tense. And here is a small table which explains this backshifting of verb. For example, if it is a V1 verb, you need to convert that into V2. For instance, I play football will be converted into she played football or he played football. So V1 will be converted to V2. And so what about V2? If it is a V2, what are you going to do? Yes, absolutely right. If it is V2, you need to convert that into had plus V3. In grammatical terms, if it is past tense, you need to convert that into past perfect tense, right? Had plus V3 is past perfect. And we will also discuss the auxiliary verbs, the conversion of auxiliary verbs. If it is am or are, it will be converted into was or were, depends on whether it is singular or plural. If it is singular, it is was. If it is plural, it is were. So is, am, are will be converted to was, were. What about was, were? For example, I was reading a book will be converted into he had been reading a book, which means was and were will be converted into had been. What is it? Had been. And do and does will be converted into did, and did will be converted into had plus V3. Had plus V3, and all the others are written or mentioned here for you. So have a thorough look at it. will be converted into would, shall to should, can to could, may to might. And what about these past auxiliary verbs? If it is would, there is no conversion needed because it's already in the past. So would will remain as would, and should will remain as should, and could will remain as could, and might will remain as might. So these are the rules. These are the steps. And the last step is very simple. Make other appropriate changes. Like if there is a today in your sentence, you need to convert that into that day. Well, that's a simple logic. And if it is tomorrow, convert that into the next day. And if it is yesterday, the previous day, now will be converted to then. This will become then. Sorry, this will become that. I'm sorry. This will become that. Tonight will be that night. And here becomes there. So these are the steps, these are the rules, and I suggest you to write it somewhere. I suggest you to make a note from the slides, okay? That will be helpful for you in your future endeavors with grammar, especially with reported speech, okay? And we are going to solve a few questions based on these understanding, your comprehension. Here comes the first question. Ria asked the following question to her colleague Deepak. And what is Ria asking? Have you finalized the magazine content to be submitted tomorrow? Report Ria asked question correctly. So it's a reported speech question. And in order to do this question, in order to tackle this question, the first thing is you need to decide what kind of a sentence it is. From the very appearance of it, we can understand that it is a yes or no question. It is a yes or no question because it begins with the auxiliary verb have. So let's revise the rules. Let's rewind the rules, or let's apply what we have already learned. Yes? Step number 1. Who asked whom? So here, who is asking the question? Yes, here Ria is asking the question. Here Ria is asking the, is anything gone wrong? No, everything is right. So here Ria is asking the question. So I'll begin with, I'm sorry again, technical errors, can't do anything. Right, here we go. So Ria asked to whom? Deepak. It's already given in the question. So Ria asked Deepak. This is step number 1. Step number 2. Write an appropriate linking word. Since it is a yes or no question, an appropriate linking word will be if or whether. You can also use whether. So Ria asked Deepak if. Next, write the subject immediately after the linking word. Have you finalized it? So the subject is you, and when we are reporting that, you become, since it is addressed to Deepak, it will become he. Ria asked Deepak if he, and comes the verb finalize it. So if there is an auxiliary verb, we will convert the auxiliary verb. Since there is no auxiliary verb and only main verb, we are supposed to convert that into past tense or backshift the tense. So here the verb is finalized, which is a V2 form of the verb. So if it is V2, it will be converted to had plus V3. Simple as that. So the answer will be if he finalized will become had finalized the magazine content. Pronounce it as content, not content. Content means to be satisfied. It is content to be submitted tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow. I need to change tomorrow because it is not tomorrow every day. So tomorrow will be converted to submitted the next day. Okay, I hope the answer is clear. And we are going to solve one more question. Here we go. Question seems very complicated, very long, but the answer is very simple if you know the basics. Okay, yes. Read Sana's reply to her team leader regarding the preparation of an important presentation. So here Sana is replying. Okay, so it is Sana's reply. And what did she reply? I'm sorry I forgot, ma'am. I'm sorry I forgot, ma'am. I will have, how do you read it? How will you read it? I will have the presentation ready for you very soon. Today. So what is your question? What's our question? Report Sana's reply by completing the following sentence correctly. So half of the answer is already done for us. So it is an easy task because they have already helped us. So here comes the answer. Sana apologized for having forgotten, and said, I need to complete this, okay? And said, I'm sorry, where is it? Yeah, and said that. Why that? Because it's a statement. It's a statement. The linking word of a statement is that. So I'll begin with that. That I, subject becomes she, will have become would have. There is no change for have because have is acting as the main verb, and here the auxiliary verb is will, and will be backshifted to would. So she would have the presentation. Okay, presentation ready. I'm a lazy man and I can't tolerate writing these long sentences, but we're supposed to do this, right? Presentation ready for you becomes for her, because here she's addressing her boss as ma'am, so she's a female, so it will become for she. For you becomes for her. Very soon. Today become that day. Today become that day, right? So I believe this video was helpful, was informative, and you learned something. You have some takeaways from this video. And if you found this video informative, interesting, do let me know that in the comment box, and please let me know your comments in the comment box. Okay, so I'm expecting a number of comments in the comment box. So with that note, this is Nasser Faruddin, signing off from Xylem Learning. Happy learning, everybody. I love you all. Thank you.